And welcome back to our first geography lesson of this week. And today we're going to be continuing our work on maps and how to read a map. But we're going to focus particularly on contour lines and how that can show us the height of land and how that works within a map to help us understand what it looks like and important features. So let's have a look. So, the ability to understand the shape of the ground from a map is a really useful skill to learn, particularly when we're looking at mountainous landscapes and when you're out and about walking or hiking. Because in order to know whether a walk might be hard or not, could depend on whether we're going uphill or downhill or whether the ground is level. Even when we're cycling, it's useful to know because if you plan your entire route and the entire thing is uphill, it's much harder work than if the entire route was downhill. So it's a very useful thing to be able to tell from looking at a map. So the contour is a brown line on a map that joins points of equal height above sea level. So you can see them up here. You can see these squiggly lines that go across. And the reason for that is that no hill is perfectly um, coned in order to make perfect circles. It's very much up and down. And what you'll also see on several contour lines, you'll see a number. And this is the height above sea level. So you can see the higher it goes up. So 70, the next line is 75, then the next line that would be 80, then 85, then 90, then 95. And then what you'll also find sometimes is a peak, which is like this one here, which says exact points of a height. And the same goes up here. Sometimes you just get the highest point of that hill um, in order just to be picked up, just to see it. And sometimes you get the lowest point as well, just to say you know how far down it actually goes towards the next one before it starts coming back up again. So this valley here that this stream is running through, this would be the lowest point before it starts coming back up to this 70 line that's here. So you've got 170 here, 170 here. It's got to do something in between, so it lets us know what's happening between it. It dips down and comes back up to 70 before going back up here. So, like I said, this shows exactly how high above sea level it is. Around Spring Hill, which you can see at the top up here, you can see that the numbers are 90, so it's getting higher. And if you were to look at that image in 3D, so this is what you see on a map. And this is really interesting. So these are your contour lines on a map. But if you were then to translate that to what it would look like as a 3D model, then you see that this is sea level here. Then you go 10 meters above, 20 meters above, 30 meters above, 40 meters above, and then you might have your peak at the top up here, which is higher than that still. And the same can be said about this one. And you can see that 10 comes around here. So the next one would be 20, the next one would be 30, and it just goes between there. So you can see that it doesn't quite get as high as this one here. And I think this is a really nice way of thinking about what you're looking at when you're looking at contour lines. There's a few other things you can take away from contour lines. So around hills and mountains, there will be lots of changes in height. And so there'll be lots of contour lines. You're looking at how many there are, how close together there are. If contour lines are really, really close together, then the height of the ground is changing really quickly. So if you're looking at lines really close together, so it's here or here, then you're looking at it being a steep slope or even a rocky formation that you'd have to climb up in order to get up. Sometimes if they come to a cliff, so if these were all very, 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 very close together, what you'd get is the cliff symbol put in and the difference of the height at the top and the difference of the height at the bottom, and they would be written on as well. If they're further apart, so they're further out they're spaced, the shallower the incline is, so the slower the incline is, the easier the walk. So the further apart they are, the slower the incline. So it would be hard to walk up here to the top because this would be steep going up to top, and the same can be said this side. But if you walk from this side, because they're further apart, that would be your easy route up. So if you were thinking of planning a walk, for example, and you wanted to get right up to the top of this mountain, which is here, well, You could plan a route that comes straight up the side here, but that'd be quite a lot of hard work because straight uphill. The same can be said coming up from this valley down here. It might be easy coming all the way up to this point, but as soon as you try and come up to the top that way, it would be quite hard work getting up that steep incline there. Whereas you could take a shallow hill approach going up here to the top, which might take longer because it's a longer route, but it would be less arduous because it's not as steep. So can you match which of the lines, so the contour lines on this side, match the sort of idea of the hill on this side here? See what you can do. Which one of these match to which one of those? Pause now and have a go. Okay, so let's have a look. The first one we're going to do is 1. And what we're doing is we got a small little hill here that then comes back up to a bigger one. So that would be this one here. You can see the small hill here going up to the big one at the top, which is there. The next one is C, which is a singular peak right in the center. So that's that one there. Next one, 3. Look, it's got 2 peaks by the looks of things, both equal with a little bit of a shallow dip between them, which is probably this one here. 2 peaks with a shallow dip between them, because we'll come to A in a minute. Number 4 has a steep peak on this side, which leads to a peak here, so it'd be C. At 5, slow, then flat top and quick drop off, which is this one. Then this one here, if you look at it, so the difference, the interesting one is between 3 and 6 and A and D. This one here, not very many contour lines between the 2 peaks, so it's just a shallow dip. Whereas this one here, you can see, look, 1, 2, 3 going down and 3 going back up again, or 4 going back up again, much, much steeper. So you'll imagine that this is a big down, big up. So it's going to be this A, steep down, steep up. Okay, so your task, can you match the hills on the left to their contour lines on the right? You can answer quite easily, just as 1A, that was the answer. These are wrong, so just so you're aware. But it's similar to what we've done before, same sort of principle, looking at the patterns and trying to match them. Try your best. Quick little note. You can upload these again with the answers from the next 2 geography ones. You don't need to worry about uploading it throughout the week. It can be all geography together as one thing if you like. Enjoy the lesson, and I hope that made sense. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.